Pause the video to work on these problems. When you're done, unpause the video to take a look at the answers and the solutions. Pause the video to take a look at the answers or keep playing the video to see the solutions. Let's solve these problems. So the first problem is 7/14. We know that 7 is half of 14. So the answer is simply half. The next one, 12/16. 4 is a common factor, so we can rewrite 12 as 3 times 4 and we can rewrite 16 as 4 times 4. Cancel the common factor and we are left with 3/4, which is the simplest form of 12/16. The next one, 24/30. Again, 6 is a common factor for 24 and 30, so let's rewrite this as 4 times 6 over 5 times 6. Cancel the common factor and the simplest form is 4/5. 36/54. I know that 2 is a common factor, so I can always rewrite this as 18 times 2 over 27 times 2. Once I cancel the common factors out, I'm left with 18 over 27, and this looks more familiar. I know 9 is a common factor to both 18 and 27, so I can rewrite this as 2 times 9 over 3 times 9 and cancel the common factor, and the simplest form is 2/3. 160 over 320. So since the last digit is 0, we know that 10 is a factor for both 160 and 320. So let's rewrite this as 16 times 10 over 32 times 10. And once I cancel the common factors out, I'm left with 16 over 32. And 16 is half of 32, so the answer is simply half. Let's look at the next problem. 1200 over 3200, or you could also call it as 1200 over 3200. These look like really big numbers. But again, as in the earlier problem, since the last two digits are 0, we know that 100 is a factor that's common to both 1200 and 3200. So let's rewrite these as 12 times 100 over 32 times 100. And since 100 is a common factor, let's cancel it and you're left with 12 over 32. 4 is a factor that's common to both of these, so 3 times 4 over 8 times 4. And once we cancel the common factors, we are left with 3/8. We know that this is the simplest form because there is no factor that's common to both 3 and 8. Let's look at the next one, 150 over 375. Now, since the last digit is either 0 or a 5, we know that 5 is a factor that's common to both 150 and 375. I am going to rewrite this in a different way. I'm going to divide both of these by 5. So 150 divided by 5 over 375 divided by 5. And in the earlier video on simplifying fractions, we saw that it's okay to write it like this, where you divide the number by a common factor, or to rewrite it like this. So 150 divided by 5 is 30, and 375 divided by 5 is 75. Again, the last digit is either a 0 or a 5, so we know that 5 is a common factor. So you divide this by 5. 30 divided by 5 over 75 divided by 5 equals 6 over 15. Now 3 is a factor that's common to both 6 and 15. So let's rewrite this as 6. Let's divide both the numerator and the denominator by 6. So 6 divided by 3 over 15 divided by 3 equals 2 over 5. And that's the simplest form of 150 over 375. Now let's look at the last problem, 192 over 224. We know for sure that 2 is a factor that's common to both 192 and 224 because both are even numbers. So let's divide both 192 by 2 and 224 by 2. And you get 96 over 112. Again, both of these are even numbers, so I can divide them again by 2. So divide the numerator by 2 and divide the denominator by 2. And you get 48 over 56. Again, these are even numbers, so I can keep dividing them by 2. So 48 divided by 2 over 56 divided by 2 equals 24 over 28. Now these numbers look familiar because I know 4 is a factor that's common to both 24 and 28. So let me divide both of these numbers by 4. 24 divided by 4 over 28 divided by 4. And that would leave you with 6/7. So 6/7 is the simplest form of 192 over 224. I like the way how big numbers like these or these can simplify into fractions that seem a lot more familiar.